إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله إخوة الإسلام إخوة الإيمان أحييكم بتحية الإسلامية المباركة الفاضلة تحية من عند الله مباركة طيبة وهي السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Inshallah, still we'll continue from where we stopped last week in this book of Kitabul Kaba'Ir, authored by Imam Zahabi rahimahullah ta'ala. If you can remember, still we are in this chapter of like the person that used to abandon his prayer. Still this chapter is a bit wide, so we need to like just exercise a little patience. We are about to like cover up the chapter. So inshallah today we'll be moving towards into another sub chapter that is possible في عقوبة تارك الصلاة في الجماعة مع القدرة. The punishment of the person that used to abandon his prayer in congregation. You used to pray your prayer you alone, not in congregation. What does that supposed to mean? Are there any punishment attached to that? Does this prayer is recorded? Is it deserved to be recorded by Almighty Allah? So inshallah today that we'll be hearing in this chapter. So this person started with an ayah. This ayah, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Almighty Allah mentioned that يَوْمَ يُكْشَفُ عَنْ سَاقٍ وَيُدْعَوْنَ إِلَى السُّجُودِ فَلَا يَسْطَطِيعُونَ خَاشِيَةً أَبْصَارُهُمْ تَرْهَقُهُمْ ذِلَّةٌ وَقَدْ كَانُوا يُدْعَوْنَ إِلَى السُّجُودِ وَهُمْ سَالِمُونَ. This is the ayah revealed by Almighty Allah, saying that in the day of judgment, those group of people that they used to pray their prayers alone, not in congregation, they will be called often to come forward and perform their sujood and ruku. But at exact day, they can't be able to do that. Why? It is because that Almighty Allah didn't give them the permission to do that. So ulama tafasir, they mention so many things attached to this ayah. So before that, the first is this day that they will be asked to do this prayer or sujood or ruku. What is that day? That's the first say. Then the Sheikh said, وَذَلِكَ يَوْمُ الْقِيَامَةِ. That's the day of judgment. يَبِشَاهُمُ الذِّلُّ وَالنَّدَامَةِ. In that day, really those group of people they will surely regretting that they didn't perform their prayer in congregation. وَقَدْ كَانُوا فِي الدُّنْيَا يُدْعَوْنَ إِلَى السُّجُودِ. Despite that, in the dunya, they were called upon that they should come and pray. How are they being called? Who is calling them? Who is the person calling them? Then قال إبراهيم التيمي. Then Ibrahim al-Taymi said, يعني إلى الصلاة المكتوبة بالآذان والإقامة. They were being called that they should come to perform their prayer. Who is that calling them? They were being called by al-azan wal-iqama. So the moment you hear the azan of al-muazzin and the iqama of al-muazzin, now you are reminded to come forward and pray your prayer. So this is exactly the calling that is given to them, but they neglect this calling of this iqama and al-adhan as well. Then وقال سعيد بن المسيب. Then Sa'id bin Musayyib said, كانوا يسمعون حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح فلا يجيبون. They used to hear حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح. Come forward for your prayers. Come forward for Allah's blessing. But they are no longer answering to this call. So that's exactly those group of people that this ayah is channeling towards. Then وقال كعب الأخبار. Then Kaba'Ir said, Wallahi ma nazalat hadhihi al-aya illa fil ladina takhallafu 'an al-jama'a. He said, Wallahi, this ayah didn't reveal. This ayah was not revealed unless on the group of people that they don't use to come to prayer in congregation. That's the essence of revealing this ayah. Was revealed upon the group of people that they don't use to pray their prayers in congregation. That's the essence of the revelation of this ayah. That's what Kaba'Ir said. Then he said, فَأَيُّ وَعِيدٌ أَشَدُّ وَأَبْلَغَ مِنْ هَذَا لِمَنْ تَرَكَ الصَّلَاةَ فِي الْجَمَاعَةِ مَعَ الْقُدْرَةِ عَلَىٰ إِتْيَانِهَا. What is that the punishment that is much severe compared to this one? You have been called often to come and perform your prayer, but you are neglecting, you are no longer answering. Then in the day of judgment, in front of all Almighty Allah's creator, you will be asked to perform this sujood. You will be asked to perform this prayer. Then in that day, you don't have this opportunity. You can no longer be able to pray. Despite that, you were given enough opportunity to do that here in dunya, but you violated this opportunity without performing this your prayer in congregation. Unless otherwise, you're only performing your prayer in your room, in your quarters, in you alone. Then وَأَمَّا مِنَ السُّنَّةِ فَمَا ثَبَتَ فِي صَحِيحَيْنِ. This is according to Almighty Allah saying to the group of people that they don't use to come to their prayers in congregation. So what did our Holy Prophet mention with regard to this? Then Anna Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, our Holy Prophet said, لَقَدْ حَمَمْتُ أَنْ آمَرَ بِصَلَاةِ فَتُقَامَ ثُمَّ أَمَرَ رَجُلًا فَلِيُؤَمُّ النَّاسِ ثُمَّ أَنْطَلِقُ مَعِيَ بِرِجَالٍ مَعَهُمْ حَزْمٌ مِّنْ خَدَمٍ إِلَىٰ قَوْمٍ لَا يَشْهَدُونَ الصَّلَاةَ فَأُغْرِقَ بِيُوتَهُمْ عَلَيْهِمْ بِالنَّارِ. Then our Holy Prophet mentioned that one day I have an intention. It wasn't happen. It was not happen. But our Holy Prophet mentioned that I have the intention of asking Muazzin to perform al-azan. Then the people will gather for the prayer. Then I will ask someone to lead the prayer. Then the Holy Prophet said, I will go together with some group of Sahaba to the houses of the group of people that they don't use to come to the prayer in congregation. I decided to do that one time. What will happen? What is the Holy Prophet just intend to do? He said, I will burn down their houses. Whoever doesn't use to attend his prayer in congregation, our Holy Prophet said, I have the intention of burning down his house with his property inside and him inside as well. Look at this, what our Holy Prophet said. Just to burn down your house. Why so? Just because you don't used to come to your prayer in congregation. Then ولا يتوعد بحرق بيوتهم عليهم إلا بترك الواجب ما في البيوت من المتاع. Our Holy Prophet never intend to do something like burning someone's property in any sin committed by someone except in what? In abandoning prayer in congregation. That's when he intends to go down to the houses of the group of people that they don't use to come to the masjid and pray and burn down their houses. That's the intention of our Holy Prophets. Look at our Holy Prophets. His blessing, his good attitude towards anyone. But this time around, he's intending to burn down your house, your property, as well as you inside this house. Just due to the fact that they don't use to come to the prayer in congregation. Then وفي صحيحين, it was reported in Sahih Bukhari or Muslim, or Sahih Muslim, Anna Rajulan A'ama, there is one blind person just at the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam came down to the Holy Prophet for all. Then he said, Ya Rasulallah, laysa li qa'ilin yakunini ila al-masjid. I don't have the person that will guide me towards the masjid. I'm a blind person. I don't have the person that will guide me towards the masjid. Ya Rasulallah. Ya Rasulullah, what am I supposed to do? Should I pray in my house? Should I pray in my home, at my room? Then وَاسْأَلَ النَّبِي صلى الله عليه وسلم أَنْ يُرَحَّصَ لَهُ أَنْ يُصَلِّي فِي بَيْتِهِ. Then the Holy Prophet, he asked Holy Prophet just what? To give him this chance so that he will be praying in his house. Oh Ya Rasulullah, please give me the permission so that I will be praying in my house. Look at his excuse. He is a blind and he don't have any person that will guide him towards the masjid. And he just brought up this to our Holy Prophets. Then at the first place, our Holy Prophet gives him this excuse. Allow him to do so at the first place. Then falamma wallah, when that person just turn around, turn back, he just want to go, then then our Holy Prophet called him. He said to him, Hal tasma'un nida? Oh, you blind person, do you used to hear the azan? Are you hearing the call of the salah? Do you used to hear the azan? Then he said, Na'am, yes, Ya Rasulullah. Then then our Holy Prophet mentioned to him, Fa'ajib. Then you must come down to the masjid. You are really hearing the azan, so now you must come down to the masjid. Despite that you don't have any person that will guide you towards the masjid, you are sure a blind person. So, but despite that, since you are hearing the azan, you must come down to the masjid and pray. No excuse attached to this blind person. Look at the blind person. Then, Abu Dawud and Amru bin Khatub. Then Imam Abu Dawud reported one hadith. Annahu at Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam faqal Ibn Khatub just came down to the Prophet. As we all know that Ibn Khatub is a blind person and he used to be part of the mu'allim of our holy prophets. Then just he came down to the Prophet then he said, Ya Rasulallah, O the Prophet of Allah, innal madinata kathirat al-hawam was-sabah. O Ya Rasulallah, you know this the Medina used to have so much valleys and undulations. As we all know that Medina has such kind of the structure. The nature of the topographical nature of this Medina, it has some valleys, some mountains, as well as so many undulations. So there is up and down there. And even Khattab used to be a blind person. Just imagine, how could a blind person can lead himself in such particular area? The area with mountains, the area with valleys. How can a blind person just lead himself towards the masjid? Then he came down to the Prophet. He said, Ya Rasulullah, this Medina have so many mountains and valleys. Then wa'ana darir al-basar. Oh Ya Rasulullah, and as well, I'm a blind. I can't see. Ya Rasulullah. Then sha'isu dar, ayba'idu dar. Then as well, his house is how much distance from the masjid. He don't used to see, he's a blind. The Medina has so many mountains and undulations, and as well his house is far away from where? From the masjid. 3 excuses, good excuses. Then, I don't have the guidance that will guide me to the masjid, the one that will just guide me towards the masjid. The 4th excuse. Oh Ya Rasulullah, can you excuse me so that I can be praying in my house? Oh Ya Rasulullah, can I have that chance to pray in my house despite these my 4 excuses? Then our Holy Prophet mentioned to him, Hal tasma'un nida? Do you used to hear the azan? Are you hearing the azan while the muazzin performing his azan? Then he said, Na'am. Yes, Ya Rasulullah, I used to hear. Then our Holy Prophet mentioned to him, Fa'ajib. Then answer the call of the prayer. فَإِنِّي لَا أَجِدُ لَكَ رُخْصَةً. I don't have any excuse for you. I won't give you any excuse. Since you can hear the azan, so I don't have any excuse to give you. So now you must report to the masjid and pray in congregation. This is what our Holy Prophet mentioned here. Please look at these two blind persons. They were all blind persons. They don't have any person that will guide them to the masjid. They have so many excuses. But despite all this, they were not They were not given any excuse to avoid attending their prayers in congregation. So what of you that are healthy, good, healthy, and proper condition? Then فَهَذَا رَجُلٌ ضَرِيرُ الْبَصَرِ. This person we don't used to see. شَكَا مَا يَجِدُ مِنَ الْمَشَقَّةِ. Then as well, he complained what he is having, the trouble he's facing while coming down to the masjid. وَلَيْسَ لَهُ خَائِرٍ يَقُودُهُ إِلَى الْمَسْجِدِ. And as well, he don't have the person that will guide him to the masjid. وَمَا هَذَا لَمْ يُرَخَّصْ لَهُ النَّبِيُّ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ فِي صَلَاةِ بِبَيْتِهِ. But despite all this, our Holy Prophet never gave him this excuse to pray in his house. No any excuse given to this person to pray in his house. Oh, despite all this, then فَكَيْفَ بِمَنْ يَكُونَ صَحِيحُ الْبَصَرِ سَلِيمًا لَا أُذْرَ بَهُ. Then what are you going to say to the person that is healthy? His eyes is well. He don't have any excuse. what will you say to that person? Will you give him any excuse to pray in his house, in his home, at his room? This, they were not given any excuse by our holy prophet. So now, do you have any excuse to give to any person that is praying in his room? If you have, maybe we can say maybe you know better than our holy prophets. So our holy prophet did not give any excuse to this group of people, but which excuse will you give to such person that used to pray anywhere else beside masjid? Then, ولهذا, with this, لما سئل ابن عباس رضي الله عنهما, when Abdullah bin Abbas was asked عن الرجل يصوم النهار ويقوم الليل, we were asked upon that there is person that used to perform sawm. Then he used to pray so much during the night. He used to pray night prayers. But ولا يصلي بالجماعة. But he then used to pray in congregation. He used to pray so much salat during the night, salat al-layl, nafil prayer. He used to perform so many songs. Then he said, Immat ala hada wa huwa fil nar. Definitely the person, if he dies upon this his act, he will no longer enter into the fire. Otherwise he will enter into the hellfire. Look at his ibadat. He used to perform so many songs during the day. And during the night he used to perform so many prayers, nafil prayer. But he then used to come to what? To the prayer in congregation. Then he mentioned that whenever the person dies, definitely he will be going where? To the hellfire. Just why he then used to pray in congregation. Despite all his ibadats, it is no longer needed. Just come down to the masjid and pray. It will be enough for you. There is one day one person just came down to our Holy Prophet, asked him, Oh ya Rasulallah, أرأيت إذا صليت المكتوبة وصمت رمضان وحللت الحلال وحرمت الحرام ولم أزد على ذلك شيئا أدخل الجنة. He asked our Holy Prophet, if I perform all my prayers, I do fasting of Ramadan, then I do all what is halal, I avoid anything that is prohibited, haram, am I going to enter paradise? Then our Holy Prophet mentioned to him, yes. This nawafil prayer, they are no longer what necessary of you, but just pray your prayers in congregation together with your people, your colleagues. Then, وقال أبي هريرة رضي الله تعالى عنه. Then Imam Abu Hurairah mentioned that لأن يمتلئ عمل ابن آدم رصاصة مضابا خير له من أن يسمع النداء ولا يجي. It will be much far simpler to you, to the person, that you have the iron. We know iron. Just melt this iron using fire. Melt it into the liquid form. Put down this melted iron into your ears. Is far much simpler to you compared to you hearing an azan from the masjid, but you are no longer reporting to the masjid to pray in congregation. That's what the hadith is reported. Just to have this melted iron, just push down to your ears is much simpler compared to you hearing an azan, but without reporting to the masjid. That's what Abu Hurairah reported. So look at this, but like in our own eyes, now you will see that, just praying salat in congregation. But to put something, anything that will harm your skin, is no longer something what? Acceptable. But in this case, just you compared the two. Just to have this melted iron, just push down into your ears, is much more simpler for you compared to you hearing an azan, but without reporting to the masjid. Look at this punishment. Why are you avoiding the masjid? Why can't you attend to the masjid? Why can't you pray in congregation with your colleagues? Do you have any excuse to report? So that you can report. If it will be accepted by the Sharia, so it will be accepted. If otherwise, it will be neglected. It will be rejected. Then Warawa Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma. Then equally Abdullah bin Abbas reported that Qala Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Our Holy Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Man sami al-munadi bi salah, falam yamna'uhu man ittabahu udhran. Qila wa man udhur ya Rasulullah? Qala ala khawf aw al-marad. Lam yaqbal minhu salat allati salla yani fi bayti. This is a clear evidence reported by Abdullah bin Abbas in this hadith that our Holy Prophet mentioned that whoever hear out the muazzin calling for the prayer, performing an azan for the prayer, but your business transaction, your excuses just didn't allow you to come to report to the masjid, but you pray in your house. Then they asked our Holy Prophet, what are those excuses that will be accepted by the Sharia? He said, al-khawf aw al-marad. It will be the sickness or the al-khawf. This will be the fear. So we have what we call fear in Islam. Let's assume there is a group of people that they are doing riba. What is riba? Ya ayyuhallazina amanu wa sabiru wa rabitu. Let's assume we are facing difficulties here. Maybe there is a group of like battalion. They want to attack this our environments. So we are just like ready to defend ourselves. So maybe along the way, maybe the muazzin is in the masjid. If a woman azan. So at least you are hearing the azan. But can you walk out for the salah? No, that cannot be possible. Now you can perform your prayer in your house. This is al-khawf. This is al-khawf. Maybe there is someone that is cheating. Maybe there is one animal, maybe wild animal or any group of animals that is attacking outside. Maybe the moment you set your foot outside, you might get harmed due to this kind of fear. So now, this excuse number one. The next excuse is what? Al-marad. You are a sick person. Even this sickness, we are coming down to some hadith as well. We'll hear the type of sickness. So this sickness, as well as khawf, so two of these, the fear and the sickness, that is an excuse that will be accepted by the Sharia. So that now you can pray in your house. So are you part of one of this? Are you in that kind of fear? Do you have any kind of sickness like that? So if otherwise, why are you praying in your room? So is this your excuse accepted by the Sharia or otherwise? Then, فَقَالَ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ, then our Holy Prophet mentioned that whoever pray in his house, at his house, in his home, without these two genuine excuses, then our Holy Prophet mentioned that لَمْ تُقْبَلْ مِنْهُ صَلَاةٌ الَّتِي صَلَّى يَعْنِي فِي بَيْتِهِ. Almighty Allah will no longer accept, will no longer record this prayer that is prayed in his house. This is the prayer that you prayed in your house, it will no longer be accepted and recorded by Almighty Allah. Meaning what? You are doing rubbish. So now we can say something like that. Whether you pray or you leave it, it will be equally the same. Why am I saying that? Almighty Allah doesn't have any need with your prayer. It will no longer be recorded. It's something else you didn't do this. If you want your prayer to be recorded, come down to the masjid and pray. Otherwise, unless if you have these excuses mentioned by this hadith. Do you have these excuses? So now your prayer will be accepted if you perform it at your room. Despite that, you perform at your room, you have only a single reward. You have one reward. At your room, you have one reward. Coming down to the masjid, وَلَا يَخُدُ خُدْوَةً إِلَّا رُفِعَتْ لَهُ بِهَا دَرَجَةً. The moment you put your right leg, you will be recorded good deeds. Your left leg, you will be, one of your sin will be cleared. Until you come down to the masjid. وَبِكُلِّ خَطْوَةٍ تَمْشِيهَا إِلَى الصَّلَاةِ صَدَقَةً. Each and every step that you are taking from your room, from your house to the masjid, it is sadaqah. That will be recorded. It will be given. It will be rewarded. Despite that, you come down to pray in congregation, you have the reward of 27. According to our riwayah, 25. Salatul Jama'at Fudul, wa fi riwayah afdal min salatul fardhi bi 27 daraja, wa fi riwayah bi 25 daraja. You will have that. So you have these good reasons. You have those good rewards. Despite that, if you pray without that excuse, definitely this your prayer will not be longer recorded accepted. But if you have the excuse that will be considered by the Sharia, thus you have one reward. Look at the difference. So this is it. Then وأخرج الحاكم في مستدركه. Imam Hakim reported in his book, and Ibn Abbas in Aydan reported by narrated by Abdullah ibn Abbas قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. Then our Holy Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم was said, ثلاثة لعنهم الله. Three group of people, they were being what? Caused by Almighty Allah. Almighty Allah caused that two group of people. They are under the anger of Almighty Allah. Then who are they? Man taqaddama qawmuhum lahu karihun. Whoever is leading leadership, whoever leading a group of people, but they don't want his leadership. You are leading our group, but we don't want you to be our leader, but you continue insisting to be our leader. So all this salat that you are performing, Almighty Allah will no longer record that your prayer. If your leadership is no longer needed by your what? By your followers, just leave the leadership, go your own way. Let them select their leader as they wish. This is number one. Then number two, وَمَرَأَةً بَاتَتْ وَزَوْجِهَا عَلَيْهَا صَاخِرٌ. And the what? The woman, the married woman that's just slept off, but her husband is angry towards her. Her husband is angry towards his wife. That wife is definitely all what it is under the curse of Almighty Allah. It will be cursed, it will be punished by Almighty Allah. Then the next one, وَرَجُلٌ سَمِعَ حَيَّ عَلَى الصَّلَاةِ وَحَيَّ عَلَى الْفَلَاحِ ثُمَّ لَمْ يُجِبْ. And the third person is the person that is hearing the azan, حَيَّ عَلَى الصَّلَاةِ حَيَّ عَلَى الْفَلَاحِ, but he then used to report to the masjid. Three group of people, لَعَنَهُمُ. Look at this as well. So we are having all these references and evidences to prove us that we shouldn't pray in our houses, we shouldn't pray in our rooms. This is why there is hadith. Our Holy Prophet is mentioning that, reported by Imam Bukhari, that ij'alu salatukum fi biyutikum. Just perform some of your prayers at your houses, but this is part of nawafil prayer, not the height of your congregational prayer. You must report all these your 5 prayers at your masjid, not in your house, at your room. But the salat and nawafil, yes, this is like what is in accordance with the sunnah. There is some prayers like the Jum'ah prayer, the nafil prayer that you are doing after the Jum'ah. This 2 rak'ah, the best sunnah of doing that is at your room, not in the masjid. If the Imam said Assalamu alaikum, if you want to do this 2 rak'ah, just go back to your room, do it there. Don't do it in the masjid. That's the rightful sunnah. Then the one after Isha prayer, just go down to your room as well. That's the best sunnah. So we are coming down, we hear that. Then وقال علي بن أبي طالب رضي الله تعالى عنه. Then Ali bin Abi Talib, may Allah be pleased with him, said, لا صلاة لجار المسجد إلا في المسجد. There is no prayer. The prayer will no longer be recorded and accepted. By who? By the neighbor of the masjid. Who is this neighbor? Masjid neighbor. Then he were asked, وَمَنْ جَارَ الْمَسْجِدِ. Oh, Ya Ali bin Abi Talib, who is the neighbor of the masjid? He said, مَنْ سَمِعَ الْأَذَانِ. Whoever heard al-muazzin, yu'adhan. If you hear the azan, al-muazzin performing azan, definitely just report to the masjid. Otherwise, you don't have that prayer. Unless if you have these excuses that we already mentioned. But if you didn't report to the masjid, that prayer will no longer be accepted according to that hadith of Abdullah bin Abbas. Then Warwa al-Bukhari fi Sahihi. Imam Bukhari reported in his book, and Abdullah bin Mas'ud radiyallahu anhu. Yes, from narrated by Abdullah bin Mas'ud radiyallahu anhu قال, said, من صره أن يلقى الله غدا مسلما يوم القيامة. يعني يوم القيامة. Whoever wishes, whoever wanted to meet Almighty Allah in the day of judgment, he is free, as good as a free person. Then he said, فَلْيُحَافِظْ عَلَى هَؤُلَاءِ الصَّلَوَاتِ الْخَمْسِ. Please be able to take care of this your 5 congregational prayers. حَيْثُ يُنَادِي بِهِنَّ. Wherever you had the azan of this your 5 prayers. Be able to take care of this your 5 prayers whenever you had the azan of this your prayers. Then when you will meet Almighty Allah in the day of judgment. Then فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ he mentioned again according to the hadith, فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ شَرَعَ لِنَبِيِّكُمْ سُنَنَ الْهُدَى. Then Almighty Allah set a rule, set a path of guidance, guided path to your holy prophet. Almighty Allah set up the guidance to your holy prophet. وَإِنَّهُنَّ مِن سُنَنِ الْهُدَى. And it is part of this guidance of our holy prophet to perform what? The prayer in the masjid. Then he said, وَلَوْ أَنَّكُمْ صَلَّيْتُمْ فِي بُيُوتِكُمْ. If it will happen that you will be praying at your homes and houses, كَمَا يُصَلِّي هَذَا الْمُخْتَلِفُ فِي بَيْتِهِ, as exactly the way those group of people that used to perform their prayers in their houses, لَتَرَكْتُمْ سُنَّةِ نَبِيِّكُمْ. Definitely you abandon the sunnah of your prophets. What does that mean? Praying at our house and at our rooms, we are definitely abandoning the sunnah of our holy prophets. Then what will happen to those that just abandon the sunnah of their prophet? Then he said, وَلَوْ تَرَكْتُمْ سُنَّةِ نَبِيِّكُمْ لَضَلَلْتُمْ وَفِي رِوَايَةٍ لَكَفَرْتُمْ. But as you will exactly abandon the sunnah of your prophet, definitely you are just an aspect. You are no longer on the right path. So in the sunnah al-huda and to salli fil masjid. That's the part of what? The guidance, the sunnah guidance. Just come down to masjid and pray. Not pray in your room, at your house or whatever. Then, according to him, Abdullah bin Mas'ud, he said, وَلَقَدْ رَأَيْتُنَا وَمَا يَخْتَلِفُ عَنْهَا إِلَّا مُنَافِقٌ مَعْلُومٌ النِّفَاقُ أَوْ الْمَرِيضُ. He said, we used to consider the person that's used to pray in his house in 2 categories. Whoever used to pray in his house or used to pray somewhere else without coming to the masjid to pray in congregation, we consider them from two perspectives. Either he's munafiq, that's hypocrisy, or what? Or he's what? He's al-marid. If you are a marid, you have the excuse of what? Illness, the sickness, as we made mention, as the one hadith before made mention, so this is accepted. But you don't have that excuse of what? Sickness, so definitely it is otherwise that you are part of the munafiq, according to the hadith of Abdullah ibn Mas'ud. Then he said, وَلَقَدْ كَانَ رَجُلًا يُؤْتَى بِهِ يُحَاجِي بَيْنَ الرَّجُلَيْنِ حَتَّى يُقَامَ فِي الصَّفِّ أَوْ حَتَّى يَجِيءَ إِلَى الْمَسْجِدِ لِأَجْلِ صَلَاةِ الْجَمَاعَةِ. Yes, sir, we used to record, according to Abdullah ibn Abbas, we used to record just a person. He was brought just in between the two persons, just his what? Hanging between two persons, just getting him down to the masjid. Now, if we said sickness, just you have a simple headache, but this your simple headache will prevent you to coming down to the masjid and pray in the congregation. You have just simple scar, just simple scratch. But if someone asks you what's happened to you, I didn't see the masjid, you say, today I'm sick. Despite your health, when it comes down to the mess, you don't have that sickness, you will go to the mess. When it comes down to the issue like that, your own appears, you will just go down, you will rush without remembering that I'm a sick person. Please, we need to consider all this. But this person just used to come in between two persons. He used to hold on to these two persons. That's how he used to come to the masjid and pray. Despite he can't pray standing, but they will bring him in, he will sit and pray while sitting. Why? Just to maintain prayer in congregation. What excuse do you have? Do you have any? Then وكان ربيع بن خيثم. Then ربيع بن خيثم said, قد سقط في الفلاج. Then this Rabi'u bin Khaysam, one day, just he falling for paralysis. That is al-falaj, paralysis. That's happened to him. We all know paralysis. Now what's happened to him? فَكَانَ يَخْرُجْ إِلَى الصَّلَاةِ يَتَوَكَّأُ عَلَى رَجُلَيْنِ. But despite that, he used to come out to the prayer while what? He used to what? To have shield in between two persons. He used to what? To handle, to be guided to two persons. Just so we bring him down to the masjid while with what? His paralysis. Only one part of his body is working, but the other one is no longer working. But despite that, he used to come down to the masjid and pray in congregation. Then they mentioned to him, they asked him, why are you doing that? Ya Aba Muhammad, you have the excuse to pray in your house. You have the excuse. But why in coming down to the masjid? Then he said, yes, this is what you know. As like the person that has an excuse, he can pray in his home. Yes, that is it. ولكن أسمع المؤذن يقول حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح. I used to hear the muazzin say حي على الفلاح, come down to the prayer, حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح. I used to hear the muazzin saying that. He said, فمن استطاع أن يجيبه ولو زحفا وحموا فليفعل. If you have the chance, the ability to attend in the congregation, to answer that what muazzin, please perform that. Even if it happens that you're crawling your head and your legs from your house. Whenever you had muazzin, just performing hayya ala salah, hayya ala falah. If it happens that you'll be able to attend to the masjid while crawling, please crawl down to the masjid. Now what he said. Then وقال خاتم الأصم. Then Khatim al-Asam said, فاتتني مرة صلاة الجماعة. Then one day, he said one day, just I lose salat in congregation. He said, فأذاني أبو إسحاق al-Bukhari وحده. Then what's happened to me is Abu Ishaq al-Bukhari come to me and perform ta'aziyah to me. We know ta'aziyah. He just come and show like ta'aziyah, just to show like some concern. Just go to show his concern. Why is he showing his concern? Because I lose one prayer in congregation. So he come down to give ta'aziyah to me. Now he's giving his ta'aziyah towards me. I lose one prayer in congregation. Then he said, but walau matali waladan. If it happens that it is my child just died, لعذاري كثيرا أو أكثر من 10,000 إنسان. We will have more than 10,000 group of people. They will be what? Giving me ta'aziyah. Just I lost my what? My son. They will be coming to me and showing their concern towards that. But he said, لأن المصيبة الدنيا لأن مصيبة الدين عند الناس أهوان من مصيبة الدنيا. Why is that so? Because the people used to consider this musibat dunya, the problems of this dunya is much difficult compared to that of akhirah. That's what we used to consider. If it happens that you lose your money now, you will feel what? Angry. Maybe you are just coming out from this campus. Maybe you just lost like your 10,000 rupees. You will be feeling so much bad. But if it happens that along the way you lose one prayer in congregation, you will feel nothing, like you didn't lose anything. Why are we doing that? Because we consider what this dunya is much better compared to this akhirah. Almighty Allah said, بَلْ تُؤْثِرُونَ الْحَيَاةَ الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةُ خَيْرٌ وَأَبْقَى. Whatever we are doing, at least we need to be considering it with perspective of prioritizing one another. Are we prioritizing this dunya over akhirah, or are we prioritizing akhirah over dunya? At least we need to be judging wisely. As this is saying, whatever we lost our beloved people or children or whatever, will be given ta'aziyah. But did you ever see someone that loses or misses prayer in congregation, someone is giving him ta'aziyah? Have we ever noticed that? Just even once? Because we used to feel that this is nothing. We can just go and do it way alone. Because we don't have much concern towards that. But it is not the same with the Sahaba. It is not the same with Tabi'in. It is not the same with Tabi'in. It is not the same with what? Salafus Salih. But despite that, why are we doing that? Are we not considering this our ibadat like with this much utmost like consideration? Are we not giving this our prayer and our ibadat much like recognition? At least we need to change our attitudes, whatever we are doing. Then, وَكَانَ بَعْضُ السَّلَفِ يَقُولُ. Then one of the Salaf al-Salih used to say, مَا فَاتَتْ أَحَدًا صَلَاةً الْجَمَاعَةِ إِلَّا بِذَنْبٍ أَصَابَهُ. According to him, what he said is, whenever you see someone misses prayer in congregation, he just misses this prayer in congregation due to the fact that he has some one sin or two. If you have a sin towards Almighty Allah, definitely you will miss what? Your prayer in congregation. That's according to Salaf. Missing prayer in congregation, it shows that you have what? You have something sinners. You have sin towards Almighty Allah. So that's why you will miss out what? Your prayer in congregation. But if you do your best, your utmost best, you will be attending your prayers on what? In congregation. Then وقال ابن عمر خرج يوما إلى خطيه خائدا له. One day Umar bin Khattab just went out to his what? To his like garden that he has. Then faraja, he just came down. وقد صلى الناس العصر. While the time people already prayed the Asr prayer. What's happened to Umar? Then he said, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Fatatni salat al-asr fil jama'ah. Today I missed salat al-asr in congregation. Then, as his punishment, he decided to do something. What he did is, he said, Ashhadukum, just I want you to testify that Anna ha'idi haza, this my garden, that I missed this prayer due to this visitation to this my garden. Now it is sadaqah al miskin. I give it sadaqah towards any miskin. I don't need it anymore. Now it is sadaqah. Meaning what? Tomorrow I don't have the chance or ability to visit this farm. Maybe I can what? Miss another prayer again. So today this my garden is no longer mine. I give it as a sadaqah. لِيَكُونَ كَفَارَةً لِمَا صَنَعَ عُمَرَ رَضِيَ اللَّهُ عَنْهُ. This is to happen that this will be the kafara of what Umar bin Khattab just did. وَالْآهِدْ عَلَى مُوسَانِ. So this is the end of this fasal. So this, from what we deduce out, we can clearly understand that whatever we are doing, with no excuse, with no reason, if you pray in your room, if you pray at your house without this excuses mentioned in this series of hadith, so this definitely your prayer will no longer be accepted. Whenever you had an adhan, you must report down to the masjid and pray in congregation. Otherwise, whatever you pray, you don't have that prayer. Unless if you have the uzr of what? Marad or al-khawf, as we had from the previous hadith, so this will be accepted by the Sharia. May Almighty Allah guide us through. May Almighty Allah give us the ability to maintain our prayers in congregation. So if there is any question due to the time factor, so we can address. So otherwise we can close. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Okay. As you said, Since you will hear the adhan, according to this amplifying things or whatever like this modernization, so definitely this masjid is no longer far. As you said, farm. So meaning you have the town nearby your farm. You can report back. Despite whenever you will hear the adhan, even this we have like one controversial issue. What if that issue is like building masjids closer by closer? According to the Salafus Saleh, we don't use to build masjid close by. Like if we assume like in this place, if it happens that our azan is Sayitan, have like amplified voice, if it happens that we perform what an azan from this place, from wherever you will hear the azan of this what this muazzin, there is no masjid within all this range unless one masjid. That's why we have al-atiq masjid and al-muhdath masjid. According to some salaf, if this is atiq masjid, meaning the original masjid, if you build another masjid nearby, whoever prays in this new masjid, you don't have that prayer. So we have that issue as well according to the Salaf as-Salih. Due to the fact that always we used to gather what Muslims in one place, we don't use what to give any chance that will divide the Muslims. We don't need so much masjids, but we need what to encourage coming down to what gather in one place. That's what that's what Islam is asking always. So with this, as you're saying, you can hear out the voice of what of al muazzin. So at least you can come down to what to the town so that you can pray and go back. Otherwise, you can take the necessary measures. Maybe if you will go to your farm, you can avoid the time of prayer. So that you can come back, maybe you can pray first, then go to your farm. Then you don't have any grief or any problem with with time. So this will be much better for you. So, but at least according to all the what we have in according to the Sunnah, whenever you will hear the azan, so you don't have any excuse to pray anywhere unless in the mosque. So we have been hearing all the signals of the hadith, starting from the ayah. So this is exactly what I don't know. Maybe if there is one gap, but to me, what I know, what I learned is this. So, but if you have otherwise, or maybe someone who might say his opinion, but this is not about the opinion. It is about the Sunnah of our Holy Prophets. But if it happens that you are at much far forest where you can't hear what the azan, that's why the Holy Prophet asks, if you happen to be the only one, perform the azan there, then pray there. But if you can hear the azan, just come down so that you can pray. وبالله التوفيق والله تعالى أعلم. عليكم السلام ورحمة الله. Small places. You can see one. According to Rajpul Sunnah, as you said, Musalla. So meaning it is no longer masjid. This is Musalla. So Musalla is coming one to what? There is an uzr. Maybe you don't have masjid nearby, so you can create just a small place so that you can be praying there. But you have your standard masjid, and you have this small musalla. So like as I'm saying, this is like we can consider this book of Shehu bin This is part of it. You have this main masjid, that's Masjid al-Atiq, so you don't have any more masjid nearby. Whenever the prayer is being called, the azan is being made, just come down to the masjid and pray. You don't need any musalla. But in a situation whereby you don't have the masjid, so whenever you will be hearing the azan, report to the place where you hear the azan. If you can't hear the azan, you can perform your musalla here so that you can pray. This is an excuse. But if you have the standard masjid, please report to the masjid, pray at masjid. You don't bring anything that will divide the Muslims. That's what always the Islam is asking us. We need to do something that will unite ourselves. We don't used to be a part of this group of people. I'm part of this in Islam. No, Islam doesn't teach us this. We need to be united. Whoever you are, just come down to the masjid and pray together. So now we have. That is another excuse again. This excuse just come down due to the fact that we have so many masjids. If it happens that we have restricted number of the masjid, that's the essence of Sharia in each and every Islamic environment. We need to have a Sharia, unique Sharia. This Sharia give only so masjid the license to pray. So maybe this area we have only one masjid. So whenever time the azan is being made, so all group of people together at this masjid. So we have the unique time for praying, and we don't have anything like praying, time for praying. This is just time used to change. We used to consider during the Prophet of Sahaba, Tabi, Salaf, and whatever. We don't have anything like watch or whatever. So we used to pray exactly one. There is nothing like praying exactly one. This is not the sunnah of our holy prophets. Always time changes. One hadith mentioned that إذا اشتد الحر فأبردوا عن الصلاة فإن شدة الحر من فيه جهنم. You don't have to state exactly today we will pray one. That is our custom. This is not the sunnah of our holy prophets. Time varies. That's what the Jibril taught our holy prophets. He just pray at the first time the prayer, then the next day he pray what at last time. So he said the time we pray is in between this. So you have this wide range. What you said, I will be praying always. I will pray this time. This is not rightful sunnah. According to some group of ulama, they are saying this is bid'ah as well. So at least we need to be considering all this so that we need to be adjusted. I can see the time. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. When? No, what I'm saying, if it happens that you didn't attend to the masjid to pray, according to the hadith that we read, the hadith said that if you had the azan, but you didn't report to the masjid and pray, you pray at your room. So Almighty, our Holy Prophet said that prayer will no longer be accepted. That's the word that is of the 11 Abbas reported. Is that not? So as I'm saying, since Almighty, our Holy Prophet mentioned that that prayer will no longer be accepted, I said to me, this is just like you don't need to do it. Since you did something that will no longer be accepted. So at least, what is the essence of doing it? Our Holy Prophet mentioned it vividly in this hadith, that you had the adhan. Look at the clear evidence, please. You had the adhan. You don't have the uzr reported by the Sharia. You just perform your ablution, just have your prayer mat, just pray at your room. For what reason? Are you a sick person? Do you have uzr? There is khawf? Do you have anything excuses? If you have that, it can be accepted by the Sharia. Otherwise, you are hearing the adhan. Why can't you report it in the masjid? Meaning you are doing something just on your own. So Islam is no longer just like to do something on your own wish. So at least you need to be doing anything according to the rightful sunnah of our Holy Prophet. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam.